Welcome to today's lesson on learning to read the treble clef. First, let's take a look at the symbol itself. The treble clef can be drawn easily by first drawing a straight line going down, which extends from above the staff to down below the staff, and just put a little rounded end on the bottom. And at the very top of this, making a little shape of a D and then a big, huge G. And the round part of that curve should curve right around the second line. That's going to be very important to us today, and we'll be learning more about that note in a moment. Now let's take a look at the construction of the staff. There are 5 lines on the staff. We consider the bottom line as being line number 1, and they go upwards. Line 2, the third line is in the middle, the fourth line, and then the 5th line at top. There are also spaces that are in between these lines. There are only 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's start with the notes that are from C position, starting with middle C. Middle C is on an additional line down below the staff, and then we put the note around that line. It represents the halfway point between the treble clef and what we'll learn in a later lesson, the bass clef. There is one more note before we reach the staff, and that is a D. And then on our first official line, we have the note E. In our space 1, we have F. And on our line 2, we have G. Now our notes are going to go in alphabetical order as long as we go in an upwards direction. Let's zoom out to see more letters. Here we have them labeled all the way up through the top of the staff. E being the bottom line of the staff, and going just a little bit more than 1 octave up, F being the top of the staff. Notice that there's a bunch of keys on the piano beyond the staff, and those are extra little lines above the staff. And we're just going to cover what's on the staff itself, which is just a small little portion near the middle of the piano. Let's break them now up and divide them between lines and spaces. Here are line notes. Line notes have a line that goes right through the middle of the note head. B is on line 3, D is on line 4, and F is on line 5. You can find them on the piano by skipping every other note. If E is a line note, then if I skip a note and go to G, that should also be a line note. And I'll skip another note, B, skip a note, D, and skip a note, F. These are the 5 lines of the bass clef, just above middle C. Now let's move on to the space notes. These happen in between the line notes. The letters are F-A-C-E. An easy way to remember these would be that they spell the word face. You can also use the face letters to help you figure out the other letters around it. For instance, if this is an F, then this must be the note just lower than an F, or the letter before F, which is E. This is the note that's between an F and an A, which is a G. This note is between A and C, which is B. This is between C and E, or D. On this next line here, the notes are not labeled, and they seem to be in a little bit more of a random order. This is for you to figure out what notes they are, and then try to play them or find them on your piano. I'm going to go ahead and give the answers in this video now, so if you have not yet filled it out, pause the video, go and figure out the letters, try playing them on your keyboard, come back, and let's compare answers. We're going to start off with the second line G, the first line E, the fourth line D, the The second space from face is A. The third space from face is C. And the first space from face is an F. Here is middle C. First note G. We're playing an E that is lower, a D that is higher, an A lower, going up to C that is higher, and F that is lower. And when I say higher or lower, I just mean what direction they're traveling in. So for instance, to get from G to E, we're moving in the direction down. Down on the piano is moving left. So if I'm here, I'd be moving left or going down to the E. From this E, it's going to be traveling upward or to the right. So if this is where I am at E, I'm traveling up to D, and then down to A, up to C, and down to F. Let's now try the next line. We have B on the middle line. I'm just going to go ahead and put the notes in, then I'll put the directional arrows, and then we'll play them. Now the direction you go is important because there are multiple notes. For instance, when I have B and E here, potentially it could be B and then an E here, but this one says to go up, that the E is higher than the B. So travel upwards to E, up one more to F, then a big drop down to D. There is a D that is going down, but it's only a small distance going down. That D is found over in here, but we want to go much further lower than that, down to the D near middle C, up to G, and then up to C. And that is the end.